again. To know first, we're doing disturbing horror stories. This is going to be part 2 of a 3-part series, si Dios quiere. Halloween's around the corner, literally like over there.
Pretty much.
And we reacted to a scary horror story. And I didn't feel it. We didn't feel it.
Oh, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, but it just made me think of a conversation I was having with Jacob and his partner. I feel like girls. Well, this is like the conversation we're having. You could agree or disagree. Let me know. That girls are more logical in a sense.
Okay.
And their fear comes from true things that could happen. Okay, so like this story that we reacted to, it was about a man sleeping under your bed, a homeless man.
Yeah, and the family had no idea he was living there.
Of course, we can't really relate because we'd feel like that would never happen. But let's say one day you own a home and this would happen, like you would waking up in the middle of the night, you would hear breathing, and then like you just want to be like, oh, it's probably my mind playing tricks on me. But then like when you actually see a physical man,
Shadow.
like I'm pretty sure your heart would drop.
Oh yeah, I feel like if I was by myself though, in the house.
Let's say you were in the floor by yourself.
Okay.
Like that situation.
Obviously, the first thing I don't think I would scream, because I would try to stay as quiet as possible to go get help. But I would definitely be scared and try to like look at the person like without having to turn my back, because you don't know, right? But I mean, it just depends on the person though. Everyone reacts differently.
So basically the conversation we're having is that as guys, we're not really scared of the physical things. Because, you know, we always talked about like, oh yeah, I could take on a bear or I could take on a lion. Like we wouldn't be scared of physical things. But something that me and my friend Jacob did agree with was we believe in God. And because we believe in God, we believe in evil. Yeah. We believe in spirits. Ghosts, we believe in like all these different type of things. We believe in brujeria. We believe in like curses and stuff like this. So I feel like that stuff would really scare us. What do you agree with?
No, yeah, I agree too. Like I definitely believe in ghosts, paranormal activity stuff. The Ouija board, I think that's real. Yeah,
cause like I was having this conversation with Jacob's partner, right? I'm like, girl, like I'm not scared of no serial killer. But give me a little haunted girl, I'm running away. You know?
Serial killers, though, are scary, depending. If you're kidnapped by one of them.
I know, but what sounds scarier? A psychotic man or a little girl that could levitate, speak 5 different languages, and have superhuman strength, you know?
Yeah, if she's that powerful, obviously the little girl.
Yeah, but yeah, I like that type of stuff would be really scary to me.
Oh, same.
What was the last scary movie that you've watched?
Wrong Turn 4.
Oh, anyway.
I was really into those movies. Like, they were scary and like weird, like disturbing too though. Did you ever watch them? I
think I might have watched them, not in order, and I don't know which one I've watched. But yeah, right, it's basically like you're in the road and you make a wrong turn and then you end up like in a cannibal's.
Yeah. Like all these deformed creatures, people, or even people, who are basically cannibals. They hunt you down, kill you, and eat you. And that's just scary, bro, because they're so strong too. Like, how could you not take them? In the movie, they can't take them. And it's just like, oh, and every time you shoot them or hurt them, they don't die. It doesn't hurt them. So imagine you in that situation. Like, what would you do? Like, eventually, obviously, you would get tired of running. So what do you think you would do?
I have a car. I can run them.
But somehow they still get you. What if they pop your tires?
Then at that point, I don't think running away. I think I saw a clip of it where a guy was running away and they like threw an arrow in him or something. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm just gonna fight, and if I lose, I lose. Cause running away and still dying with my back turned to them, or they just fight them head on, and if I lose, then so be it.
That's crazy. What was the last one you saw? The last scary movie you saw?
It's the one that just came out about, I think it's called The Exorcist.
Oh, The Exorcist?
Yeah. And that's why I was thinking, like, yeah, guys, like, a possessed little girl, like, have a good day, I'm out.
That's crazy. Would you be able to... So an exorcism would be scary to you?
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to be there. I don't even think I have the power to do anything.
Right. Yeah, it's scary. What about haunted houses?
Oh, I wouldn't do none of that.
Like real life haunted houses.
Oh, like if we have the chance to visit an actual haunted house?
Yeah.
¿Qué tal si se me pega algo?
That, yeah, because I believe in that too.
Oh, so let's get into it. Anything you gotta say?
No, not at all. That's all the creepy.
Yeah.
This story is from my great-grandfather, who is currently at the ripe old age of 101.
Yeah.
He's told this story at family gatherings for years. He's from the city of Yaroslavl in Russia. I guess it was the Soviet Union when he was born there. Being from the USSR, of course he served under the Soviet Union during World War II, then fleeing to the United States a few years after to escape communism. He told me this story again recently. It happened not long after the Battle of Veliki Luki, which wasn't a major battle of the war, but it still ended up in a large amount of Soviet and German bloodshed, as most battles at the time did. It was the evening, and according to my great-grandfather, it was very cold that night, like hellish cold. They were in a small house/building that was one of the few with no damage to it, which made it nice because it was warm. Him and his comrades were celebrating with drinks, songs, laughing, and joking, what you could imagine a celebration would look like. At some point in the evening, two fellow soldiers walked into the building. My great-grandfather and his friend Sergei didn't care for these two. It was apparently because they were...
I feel like war stories are already pretty...
Scary.
Yeah.
...loudmouths and were just unpleasant guys. Sergei asked my great-grandfather if he wanted to go out and have a smoke. He agreed, and the two put on their heavy coats and walked out into the freezing cold air. My great-grandfather pulled out a cigarette, as did Sergei, and then he lit both of their cigarettes. They were talking for a while, both enjoying their cigarette and basking in the glory that came along with winning the battle that had been going on for about 2 months. After my great-grandfather finished his cigarette, they were both about to go back inside when they heard what sounded like a man scream from the woods in the distance. Fearing that it was the scream from one of their comrades, possibly being attacked by a patrol of pissed-off Germans, they went back inside quickly and grabbed their guns. Because of the fact that there might be armed Germans, they got a bunch more of their fellow soldiers to run into the woods with them. My great-grandpa mentioned that as he got deeper into the woods, he started to get a weird feeling, like dread and fear. When they couldn't hear screaming anymore, my great-grandpa suggested that they all split into duos and search for whoever it was. Sergei went with him, while the others went off in their own duos. After about 2 minutes of walking through the dark, cold woodlands, my great-grandpa said that he could hear faint crying, like someone was in pain. Sergei heard this too, so they walked to where they heard the crying sounds. They started seeing drops of blood in the snow, so they both began to take the situation as more of a threat than they were earlier. It still gives me chills when my great-grandpa tells me this part. When him and Sergei got to the source of the crying sound, they had found the most bizarre and disturbing scene they had witnessed. 2 German soldiers on the ground, one of them dead, one alive. One of them had their uniforms ripped and bloodied. The alive one was cowering by a tree, muttering stuff in German. He didn't notice my great-grandpa and Sergei right away. My great-grandpa then walked towards the other body. The corpse was horrifically mutilated, missing limbs, skin ripped off the face. His uniform was shredded and it looked like he had been scalped. Another thing that stood out to my great-grandpa was the smell. He couldn't describe the smell, saying it wasn't like a dead body, but more like chemicals. The corpse looked fresh. Sergei investigated the living soldier, who then, noticing Sergei, jumped back in terror, as if he had been traumatized. He was shouting stuff in German. It was only then that my great-grandpa noticed that his leg had been torn apart and his chest was bloody. He said he could remember that German screaming something like "Das Kolas" or something similar. Sergei pulled out his pistol and put the German out of his misery with a single shot to the head. Almost immediately after this, my great-grandpa described hearing moaning-like noises. That's when a very tall thing started running in the darkness away from them. Afraid, Sergei and Great Grandpa started shooting erratically in the direction of the thing. The other men ran over, but the thing was gone. All of the men were reprimanded when they got back to the village, but a report was sent to the High Command. It was never investigated further. My great-grandpa claims that it was the most terrifying experience of his life. It makes him stressed when thinking back on the sight of that mangled German and that thing.
What do you think?
I don't think it was that scary.
No.
Nah. It was, I don't know, like, what do you do in that case? Like, what if you found a body
I feel like
that?
war is even scarier. I feel like in war there's... who knows?
There's so many things going on in there.
Yeah. Well, guys, this is our second attempt to get scared with a scary story, but I don't think it has happened yet. Probably releases before Halloween, maybe this week or something. So if you guys do got any suggestions of what we should watch or listen to, please let us know in the comments down below. But we're gonna give this another chance because it does have 6.3 million 1.3 million views, right? So the first two were not it. Maybe the third one is?
The third one's the charm.
So we're gonna give it a try, guys. Don't forget to watch, like, subscribe, and share with all your friends.